You're now tuning into Big Baller Sports. When the clock's ticking down and the whole world's watching, we're right there, breaking it down, calling it out, setting the record straight. No watered-down takes, no safe opinions, just pressure, passion, and pure sports energy. If it's trending, we're on it. If it's heated, we're debating it. If it's historic, we're stamping it. Now to your sensational host, the one and only Asher.
And guest Eric. What's going on, Eric?
Doing great. Thanks for the invite, brother. It's awesome.
Yes, sir. So pretty much, last week we made our debut. So we talked about, Kawhi Leonard. Of course, we talked about what we thought about everything was going on with the Houston Rockets and the Kevin Durant, burner situation. But today's episode is going to be different. I'm not solo, of course. I got my guy, Eric, in the building. So we're going to be talking about some hoops, of course, some takes, and nothing casual. So the NBA, it's back in full swing. The playoff picture is starting to tighten up. We're post All-Star break now. The teams are separating themselves, and the season kind of feels a little bit different. It feels a little bit physical. We've seen over the past few games and weeks. It feels, chippy, and it feels personal. And for everybody who's saying, the league got soft, we're going to talk about that as well. So let's get into it, Eric. So I'm going to start in the West. So to me, obviously, I think, the Thunder, they're still, in the ones to beat. They're the defending champions. But, you still got the Nuggets. Because when you got Jokic, in my opinion, arguably one of the best players in the league, he's a game changer. So what are your thoughts, Eric? I mean, who do you think is coming out of the West? I got OKC right now. I'm not going to lie.
Same here. Okay, so they started out so good. Unbelievably good. The Spurs, they beat them, it was 3 times the Spurs beat them. And that gave me some pause. I was like, hold on, maybe the San Antonio team can make some noise in the West. But as time went on, the Thunder are 46 and 15. The Spurs are 2.5 games behind them. And behind them, everyone else kind of is fine. I mean, the Thunder, defending champs, I think the MVP, I can't see it.
I like that. Yeah, I mean, Minnesota, of course, they got Anthony Edwards, but in terms of, the Thunder and, the team that they have, they have so much depth, and they got SGA. Of course, he's the defending finals MVP. He is the MVP. So I think definitely, my Western Conference Finals prediction will be, Denver versus OKC. The top 2 players in the league, SGA and Jokic. And I want that to go to a Game 7. But, the West, there's a lot of top teams, though, so it's still up for grabs. Because, SGA, he just came back from injury. We saw it last night. That was a wonderful game, too. The Nuggets, that was a sneak peek we got. Nuggets versus Thunder. OKC went into overtime. They came up with the win. But I think the West still, you got the Rockets. So about the Houston Rockets, of course, we're in Houston, and we got to talk about the Rockets. So I was listening to Charles Barkley a few days ago, and he was saying that the Rockets are great. They got Kevin Durant, KD, they got Alperen Şengün. But they're a good team, but I still feel like they don't have a point guard. They need someone to run the floor.
Absolutely. Reed Shepard's there, right? He had a great game against the Kings, where he was shooting lights out from 3, but outside of that, he's not providing enough for the team. He had Fred VanVleet last year. We saw him take us to the playoffs as a point guard. And that Warriors series, he played well. He should have won that series, so that's a different story. But when he got injured in the offseason, that was what it felt like to most Rockets fans the end of the season.
Yeah, that was a blow. Because Fred VanVleet, he's an NBA champion as well. He won with Toronto. But, yeah, I feel like, the teams are great, especially in the West. Like, you can't just, call upon, we just need you to score, give it to Kevin Durant or give it to Şengün. That's just not going to work because, teams, they have the defensive adjustments. And across a 7-game series, I just feel like the Rockets, it's the struggle, I think, for them in this postseason. We will see their ability for them to beat elite teams. But we'll see. I mean, they got Kevin Durant. He's still Kevin Durant, but still, I mean, when you got the Thunder, you got the Nuggets, you got the Timberwolves as well, and we can't forget about San Antonio because that man Wemby, he wants to get his first shave. You saw how he's playing in the All-Star game. He wants to, I like the competitiveness, but.
And let's talk sleepers. I mean, the West, we were talking about the Thunder favorites, but there's some playing teams that probably not, but maybe make some noise. That includes your Clippers. I mean, they're on a 3-game losing streak. Where do you think the Clippers playing for this? Are they a playoff team first round, second round? What do you think?
See, the Clippers. Okay, the past 3 games actually, Kawhi was out the past 2 games, which is obviously shows how good he is for this team. Because without him, I mean, they really are nothing. I'll be honest, especially as a Clippers fan. I would say if the Clippers are the 10th seed right now, I mean, I would say they for sure will finish as a 10th seed. There's a good amount of gap between the 10th and 11th seed. Of course, the plan consists of teams that are from the 7th seed all the way to the 10th seed. If they end up coming out the play-in, of course, they'll probably be facing, the Thunder or Nuggets, or not the Nuggets, the Spurs. I know it's still a little bit close between them. I mean, you can't count out a healthy Kawhi Leonard in the playoffs, but that's the thing. If he's healthy,
it would be an insane upset if they won.
Yeah. They got Garland coming back real soon, so that's gonna be an interesting sight to see. But in terms of the playing teams, you got the Warriors, but I mean, I don't know. I feel like the Warriors. I mean, they won in 2022, but it's not there. And you got teams, like the Lakers and
Portland.
Yeah, I mean, but enough about the West. So the East now. We got the Detroit Pistons. Man, this team was in the gutter the past few years. They are finally back. They have completed the rebuild. They're a top team in the East. So, what do you think is going on in the East now?
It's not a fluke. When they started off that hot with that winning streak, I was like, no way, Detroit, this is going to fall off. They're not that good. We're in March, and they're the 1 seed, 5 games ahead of second place. They're playing amazing. The Celtics, I thought when Jason Tatum got injured in the playoffs, they were going to be like a playing team, not in the playoffs, they're second seed. The Knicks, I thought were going to be the favorite. The East is weird. I don't know what you make out of it. Like, I cannot see the
Knicks
winning the championship, but
it is a little bit strange this season. And talking about the Celtics, man, shout out to my man Jaylen Brown. Because this dude right here, come on. Jason Tatum went down. Of course, I would say the number 1 option. But now you got this guy, Jaylen Brown. Of course, he's getting paid $300 million a year. You would expect that, of course, he needs to stand up. And he has stood up this season. He is literally almost averaging 30 points a game. He has Derek White, of course, as his, I would say his other star player. But now he is a star. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to say this on there. I think that Jaylen Brown has, for MVP. I think he has a case because, bro, he's literally keeping them alive, and they're still a top team in the East. You got the Knicks. Okay, the thing about the Knicks is, man, New York, I mean, they're contenders. They've been contenders these past few years. Jalen Brunson, baller. You got OG Anunoby. You got Karl Towns. And the thing, Karl Towns, I've seen a lot of backlash with him, especially, on First Take and, the ESPN with, Shaq. I heard they're talking about Karl Towns having a career low in numbers this year. On the other hand, Jalen Brunson's having a career high. So I'm not saying, Karl Towns is holding them back, but I don't know. I think, you got the Celtics, you got, of course, the Pistons. But back to the playing teams, Miami.
I don't believe them. I just don't. I mean, Tyler Hero's a great player, but their record is
I was talking about one of my buddies. I think that Miami, man, because the past few years, you see Eric Spoelstra, these guys, they were number 1 seed in 2022. Of course, they had Jimmy Butler. They don't have Jimmy Butler anymore. But, man, they have one player, one of my favorites. I got to shout him out, Norman Powell. All-star this year. This man's a scoring machine.
He's a bucket. I can't deny that. I mean, he's a bucket.
I'm just saying, if the Heat come out with the plan and they make it to the playoffs, whoever's at number 1 or number 2 seed, they got a problem because they're going to be a difficult team to beat. But, of course, that's a little bit of a hot take, but that's the thing about Big Baller Sports. No soft takes, We say it as it is. And just to close out, of course, now, I mean, pretty much we saw the fight last night. Jokic going against Lou Dort. Of course, I mean, I don't blame him. If someone trips me on purpose like that, especially me coming off of an injury, I mean, of course, I'm going to have to confront him. I like it, though. I think this is what the NBA needs, especially, the Pistons. They've been playing a little bit tough as well with some teams. You saw KD and Tyler Hero getting into it as well last night. I think that the NBA is starting to, bring back the competitive edge.
Absolutely. You get this narrative, the players don't care about basketball this one. this is showing they care about basketball. It's a competitive league. I like it for the league. I think it's great for the health of the league. It's going to be awesome
For sure. But yeah, I mean, so we got, of course, final few weeks in the NBA season. It's going to be a fun postseason up ahead. I mean, the show is going to be even better once we get to the postseason because it's going to be amazing. But definitely, I like, the Denver OKC matchup in the West. Boston, you got, of course, the Pistons controlling the East unless, somebody else proves otherwise. But make sure to drop y'all's playoff predictions in the comments. For everyone watching in, make sure, check out the YouTube Big Baller Sports. You can catch me on Instagram as well. And speaking of Instagram, let's say it on air to all the listeners and everyone, of course, watching on the live stream. We made a little bit of I would say, remarkable and impressive debut in the last week and a half. Posted a video on Instagram a couple days ago. Over 200,000 views and counting. In the last 7 days, we've reached over 300,000. Not hundreds, not thousands, hundreds of thousands, 300,000 impressions. I appreciate all the support. We're just making our debut. But this is going to continue to grow. And make sure, like I said, stay tuned. Check out the YouTube, Big Baller Sports. If you have Instagram, follow the Instagram, Big Baller Sports with a Z in the end instead of an S. We don't do safe takes here. Thank you again, once again, Eric, for joining us. Definitely, it was a pleasure having you on there.
Yeah, anybody's awesome.
And definitely, stay tuned. We're going to continue to have, guest speakers on there every week. Thank you all for having me once again. We'll catch you all next week. Stay tuned to Instagram for, of course, the start time. I know there's a little delay this today, but we'll make sure, fix that next week. With that being said, we're going to bring it back to Zishan on air. Thank you all.